That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all?
Welcome to Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind, stimulate your mind, and welcome all kind. My name is Anthony Parker, and as I try to do from time to time, I try to have a guest, and today is no exception. But before we get all into that, we're going to be talking about the police shootings that have been occurring over the past 2 years of unarmed black brown men. This is not to harp on any policeman, talk about any issues such as who's unfair, this and that and third, who's fair, who's not, who's in the wrong. I'm just basically commenting, giving my take on it, and I'll be talking with my man from another country and to see if he has heard anything, because if he followed the news, if he has any intake on that. This is what we do on Open Discussion Monday. It's basically a diversionary technique. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's so much that you can talk about as far as blindness. So I want you to know that there are other issues that affect me and my guests and other individuals as well. Some people probably don't want to talk about it, but I'll be the first to step out and talk about it. But this is no way trying to bash anyone. As I mentioned, make sure you hit that like button when you come in. If you're a new subscriber, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Come on, man, just share the video. I mean, there's only so much that I can do, and I'm getting very tired of it. No, I'm just playing. But look, share the video. But I want to give a shout out. I just checked her channel out. My girl Cindy from the blind side, Seeing Blind. I'm sorry. And y'all need to go check her out as well. She was on the show a couple of times. But anyway, we're going to be talking about Open Discussion Monday. And if y'all have any kind of input, y'all can definitely share this as well. So enough with me, because I know y'all tired of hearing my voice. I'm going to bring on the man of the 45 minutes, I guess 30 minutes. My man, all the way from Canada, from Whose Blind Life Is It? Dun, dun, dun. Vic, introduce yourself, tell a little bit about your channel. We're going to get it going. And in the meantime, I'm going to play some music. So go take over the show for a second. Go ahead.
Well, thanks, Anthony.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you very much. I want to thank y'all for viewing. No, just playing. Go ahead.
No, my channel is actually a network where we're going to have multiple people just broadcasting, doing live shows. And I've got a few coming on. I've got one woman who's going to be cooking, doing various cooking shows, and another one who's going to, a couple of them actually, who are going to do psychology, and yet another one who's going to do a sex show with me. And I'm not saying we're going to have sex, but I am saying that we're going to talk about sex. You know, okay. Salt and pepper style.
Okay. How long have your channel been in existence?
I think it's about since February. I want to say February, but I think it was earlier than that. But I'm still new out. I mean, I've only got 32 subscribers, so people seem to like what I'm doing, I think.
And what prompted you to get into to what you're doing?
Therapy, actually.
Okay.
Something happened to me last year that was very traumatic, and my therapist suggested that I do a blog. Now, that blog would have been my therapy and a way of letting out my feelings and stuff like that. So, I mean, essentially, I did it with YouTube, and I decided, well, why not go all the way, since I'm familiar with YouTube and its content. So I decided to do it there. But ever since, I've been trying to get up and running. Trying to
Okay.
learn StreamYard too.
Well, tell everybody where they can find you at, man, and give a little insight as to how you lost your sight and
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, you can find me on YouTube, of course, and that we have a Facebook page, and also on Twitter at Blind Who's. That's BLINDWHOSE. Of course, we're also on podcasts everywhere: Apple, Google, Spotify, and lastly, if you're part of an email distribution list that I belong to, you'll get downloadable uh, files. In other words, a link to my Dropbox folder with the video and audio of the files that of
Mhm.
the videos that I produce.
Okay. Now, I had the pleasure of being on his show, and I really enjoyed it. And I really, I
Dude,
like, I
you
like
did
when.
not enjoy it as much as I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, really? Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I like when people come or want to interview me and whatnot. Gives me a chance to just lay back. So I want to thank you for checking, for checking for me and allowing me the opportunity and what have you. And y'all go check out his channel, man. Give him the name again.
Whose blind life is it anyway?
Whose blind life is it anyway? Okay. Today we're going to be talking about again the police shootings and things, what have you, of unarmed, more specifically black men. And there's been a great deal of it that has been happening over the years, a couple of years. And I want to ask you, being that you're from Canada, right?
Hmm.
How much information do you get disseminated to you as far as the what's going on in the United States?
Well, we
That's,
get all your local channels: NBC, ABC, and CBS.
mm,
Plus, my wife loves watching CNN. I
okay.
don't understand why, since we have a Canadian news network.
Well,
But I say, why don't you use Canadian? Why don't you listen to Canadian stuff? And she says, no, I prefer CNN.
I,
Um, which is ironic considering they're so democratic, whereas Fox is so Republican.
and that's and as I just touch on this for a second, I watch a lot of CNN, and that is true. So I'm trying to find a balance. I don't want to promote any particular channel, but yeah, I sometimes I get a different perspective from Fox, then I get a perspective from CNN. But I watch that the most. And
Mhm.
speaking of perspective, we want to talk about the police shootings and what have you. How much information can you give to us and my audience about what you have been hearing on the news? Because it's a great deal of shootings. Some.
There is quite a big deal. I mean, we've had demonstrations up here and various other reactions to your issues of shootings and gang and violence towards black men, especially unarmed black men. I mean, I'd like to say that Canada doesn't really have that much. Um, However, we in the province I live in, my particular city,
Mhm,
Toronto,
mhm.
we do have a special investigations unit which investigates every shooting, regardless of whether the shooting is justified or not.
I like that. That's a good thing to have
And
someone
yeah,
that's separate from the actual people in the police division that can definitely give you a fair uh, perspective of what happened if
I
there's any
agree.
shootings that occur.
I
What's
agree.
what's the population, just out of curiosity, of black people in Toronto? Do you know, like, what percentage of them?
You know what? I couldn't tell you, and I'll tell you why. We have so much immigration.
Mhm,
Although it's stalled now because of COVID, we have so much immigration from third world countries, Africa, uh, South America, Jamaica, places like that, that it's hard to tell at any given moment how many. At
mhm.
least here in Toronto, that is. I mean, when I was living out west for a while, all I saw were Filipinos.
Okay.
I mean, I saw an Indian woman once or twice, but well, not see, but I heard.
Right,
Sorry,
right, right, right. You could use
but most of the people I saw there were Filipinos,
now.
and Sorry, go ahead.
Now, being that there's a mixed group of individuals, do you hear about a lot of shootings of
Yes.
black? Well, talk about the ones that you know of, that you've heard of.
Usually I can honestly say that usually the shootings are gang on gang
Mhm.
violence out here. There are sections of the city that are more prone to gun violence, but having said that, most of the shootings are gang related, and that's not to say there aren't police shootings. There are,
Right.
um, but usually, I mean, like I said, the SIU investigates, and they are usually pretty good at deciding whether it's a justified shooting or not.
And let's speak on those police shootings that you have heard of, that that you've heard of from checking out the news channels of black men. Have there been any recently in Toronto or just in Canada that you know of that people may have started protesting on, or people may say it's justified, unjustified, whatever?
Not specifically up here, but they have been protesting regarding the American shootings.
Okay. Any input?
Uh,
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I mean, you'd almost think we were, uh, the U.S.'s little brother, chasing after them, and whatever happens in the state invariably affects us for some reason or another. I never understood that, honestly. Um, Especially, for example, the shootings that happened down there with, George Floyd.
Right.
I mean, not that wasn't a shooting. Sorry, police violence rather. Um, I mean, everybody was up in arms over here. Also,
But
uh,
let's
that's not to say it wasn't despicable,
right.
but one has to wonder why we up here care so much. I mean, there is. I just did. My channel just did a racism roundtable,
Mhm.
and we talked about that. How there was so much systemic racism that I never noticed.
Okay, let me stop you right there, and for the individuals who are totally blind that who are going to view this channel later on, let them know what your nationality is, and then I'll ask the question.
Yeah, I am Portuguese and fully Caucasian.
So, being as that the case, you all, he's Caucasian and fully Caucasian and Portuguese. What is your honest opinion about the shootings of unarmed black men, brown men? Do you have an opinion about it? I mean, in your truthful opinion about it. You don't have to sugarcoat anything. I mean, you don't have to cuss, but what's your
I
opinion?
really can't speak specifically to each case because each case is different.
But as a whole,
I mean, I can honestly say that if the shootings are justified, then they should be marked as such. If they weren't, then they shouldn't. Having said that, you're a police man, and unfortunately, whether you like it or not, criminals are criminals,
Mhm.
and you never know what they're going to pull out of there, whether it's a knife or a gun or whatever. Um, I don't know if you've ever watched the movie Casino.
I've heard of it. Never did. No, I never did.
Yeah, well, there's a scene in Casino where the cops stop a guy and he goes to reach for a hero sandwich and gets blasted. And he was white. So, but I mean, that's the type of thing that you have to be careful. I mean, you never know what's going to come out of someone's pocket.
Well, let's go here. What's your opinion about the let's I don't want to really talk too much about it, and the only reason I want to bring it up because I just want to get your opinion. Then we're gonna move on. The incident I've heard a lot of people say about the George Floyd situation in terms of, even though it's not a killing, but he was the individual was killed by a cop. I've heard people say, well, that's good he was killed because he was a troubled guy, things of that nature. What do you feel? What's your opinion about when people bring up an individual's history whenever they've been killed at the hands of an officer? Briefly.
Are we talking about George Floyd's history or the officer's?
Yeah,
history?
the George Floyd's history.
Oh, okay. And you know what? I take that seriously because there was a black woman who did a video on Facebook who pretty much outlined George Floyd's history, and I don't know, he was a pretty bad man. Now, did that justify the killing? No, I don't think so. I think the cop was exerting too much pressure on his neck, and he just went too far. And maybe he was having a bad day or something, and I'm not trying to justify it, but the fact is that, more care should have been taken.
Do you think in police shootings that people's history should be brought up? Honestly, do you think, in my opinion, let me answer it first, and then I don't think that it plays a part in an unjustified shooting. I don't think that criminals are created in most cases through a period of time in terms of their acts and things that they do may cause them to get into violent situations or what have you. But in a lot of cases, it appears that as far as black and brown individuals, there's a great deal of their history that's being brought up, to make sure that's justified or to justify their killings, the killings. What do you feel about that as a Caucasian individual? And I want to keep pointing that out because this I want to get your side.
And you're right. I mean, I in a sense I have no way to actually offer my opinion as a Caucasian guy. Having said that, playing devil's advocate, I have to say, I mean, if you're a cop and you run this guy's ID and he's got a laundry list of gang violence and gang crimes on his thing, I mean, does one sit back and hope that he doesn't bring out a gun, or does one? I don't know. I would hold the guy at gunpoint, but I wouldn't shoot.
And I understand that, and there's in no way I'm trying to get you to
no, I understand.
Right. I just want we're both playing devil's advocate, but do you feel okay? Yeah, the guy may have. Let's say the guy may have a laundry list of related incidents, but this one incident, do you feel that in most cases that if a shooting if a shooting occurs, that his history played a part into an individual being unjustly?
Well, again, that I can't speak to that because the fact is we don't know what the guy's history is until after the fact, and we all know that hindsight is 20/20. And when you're a cop and you're standing there, and like I said, I'm not trying to defend
no
cops. The fact is, when you're standing there and you don't know what's about to happen, you have to make a split-second decision, and it's really hard to say whether I would shoot or not.
And that's why I preface by saying I'm not here to bash policemen, none of that, because I'm not gonna lie. I have friends who are cops, and I know that the task is very hard. We sit down almost every other day and we talk. He gives me stories and things like that about how it is on the force, and I understand that you have to make decisions and what have you, but things that are occurring more so than the norm. You sort of kind of wonder, and especially if it occurs more so to a particular race. I want to jump to this.
Hold on. That brings up the question: is your friend Caucasian or black?
No, he's black. Yeah, but he shares stories of encounters between all races. You see what I'm saying? Right. I've even put it on here. So he shares stories, and he's straightforward, and that's why I speak to him a lot off record about issues. But let's talk about the split decisions and things like that. You've heard about individual who unintentionally killed the young guy with the
For a speeding stop.
with the taser. She
Re-
pulled out she pulled
oh,
out a
was it?
gun
I'm
instead. Yeah,
sorry.
she
Yeah,
pulled out a gun instead of a taser. Dante Wright, and they
yeah,
end up
yeah,
charging her with I think second degree. I don't know what it's manslaughter. I don't want to quote, but anyway, what's your opinion about that in terms of her
yeah.
decision?
That was wrong. I mean, I'm sorry, that was wrong. I mean, that was sheer incompetence on her part, or his part rather.
Well,
Was it
it was a female officer
a
that
female officer? Yeah,
right.
I mean, that was sheer incompetence. I
Mhm.
mean, how do you put a taser around the same place you put your gun? I mean,
Okay,
that's just retarded.
okay. Yeah, I kind of understand. Like after 26, 27 years of training, and I'm quite sure you are trained. And the mistakes do happen. You are trained to know the difference. You are trained to put you know where on which side your taser is supposed to be. It's just unfortunate situations happen. Unfortunately, this occurred, and you have to pay the price for it. So I mean,
That's right.
hopefully, justice is served in that case. But yeah, I want to come in and bring you on and talk about these shooting, police shootings
Hmm.
the occurrence of it with black and brown individuals and what have you. So,
Right.
do you have any other before we come to a conclusion? Because I don't want to beat this dead horse. Before we conclude, do you have
Well,
any
I
points?
mean, I was gonna say a lot of the gun violence up here happens in the black community. I have to say. Um, that's not to say it doesn't happen in the Caucasian community, but up here it happens frequently in the black neighborhoods. The other issue is, of course, that the economic status of the areas. It's like projects and stuff like that that are going through that type of violence, and it's like there's no end in sight.
Do you think that police shootings are of black men, black women sometimes are reported more so than in the white community?
Well, yeah, you got to. I mean, it's sensationalism, right? I mean, they're looking for the shock value, not the, oh yeah, this white guy was just shot. Whoop de fucking do. I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead.
the fact is they want to make new headlines, and that's what's going to make headlines. I guarantee you, if there wasn't any racism talk right now, nobody would care that a black man's getting shot at
Okay.
all.
What about, and we'll play devil's advocate one more time, when there's massive killings by individuals. I know we're going off a little bit on tangent, but the treatment of these individuals and many of them who do these massive killings are of Caucasian descent, and they're treated differently. What's your opinion about that?
Oh, I have no qualms in shooting them. I
But
mean,
do
the
you,
fact is, one incel guy actually ran down a whole bunch of women in his van simply because he wasn't getting laid. I mean, what the hell is that?
but do you think that policemen treat them differently when it comes to
I
the,
sincerely hope so. Yeah.
no,
I mean,
no,
we're talking
I'm
terrorism
I'm talking
here.
I'm talking about the treatment that black people get, black Hispanics and racist minorities get versus the type of killings that people white people do. Do you and there are the police come on the scene and the way the situations are handled? It's totally different. Do you have an opinion in regards to that? Do you agree that there is a difference in the way that uh, these incidents are handled?
As sad as it is to say, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so. I
Okay.
mean, the fact is, I mean, there is such a stereotype around black men and women that the white individual just can't get out of his head. And you might say the same. It's the same with Muslims and guys from India and women from Pakistan and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I mean, men. Well, I won't say men. I
Mhm.
mean, white people in general have that stereotype going. If he's Muslim, he's a terrorist. If
Mhm. Mhm.
he's If he's Indian, he's well, I don't know what an Indian
Right,
is.
right. But I get your point. I understand exactly what you're saying, and I wanted to get your opinion in reference to that. But what we just did, you all, uh, we just created a little round table discussion sort of about police shootings, and to get I want to get Victor's a take on it as a Caucasian person who is a friend of mine, and he's very candid about what he feels, and just get a perspective from where he lives, and see how much he knows about what has been transpiring in the United States. And bro, I really appreciate you being straightforward and giving it to me raw in terms of what you feel in your heart, how you know how things are. Do you
And I
have any?
appreciate that, man. I mean, you don't get many non-judgmental people like you.
Well, I definitely am not, and I want to thank you for saying that, man. This is true. There's no BS. This is who I am and whatnot. And I try to, kind of like be on. I'm not trying to straddle the fence, but it's good to try to get different people's opinion, because if you come in, just in your face type, so you're not going to get a person's true opinion. So this is
No, I
what it
agree.
is, and I want to thank you so.
And people are always afraid. They're so politically correct that they don't want to fuck or
So
make
yeah,
people angry.
right.
And at the end of the day, you have to be proud of what you say. Otherwise, what's the point? You might as well just shut up and put a gag over your mouth.
Yeah, that was my mom. She's on the way. But yeah, I value your opinion, man. And look, tell everybody again the name of your channel, man, where they can find you and all that good stuff, Vic.
Yeah, just look for us as Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? And you'll find us lying around somewhere. Maybe
I
in
like
the
that.
trash.
Now he's doing good, man. The dude, he's straight, man. I'm glad I had the opportunity to talk with him and whatnot. Y'all go check him out. Whose Blind Life Is It Anyway? For those who about to check this video out and whatnot, man, thanks for tuning into Third Eye Visions. And if you would like to come on Open Discussion Monday and share your thoughts about whatever is trending, feel free to hit me up at ParkerAnthony225 at gmail.com. That's ParkerAnthony225 at gmail.com. And hopefully I'll get with Vic in the future, and we have a real nice roundtable discussion about some issues.
Oh, God, yeah, I want you there. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know yet, but we're working on it. But again, thanks for coming on from Whose Blind Life Is It? My man Vic, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Tell Drake I said what's up.
Yeah, will do.
All right, y'all. Thanks, and talk to y'all on the other side. See y'all.